Hello, here is Toto from Round Film Sleep, and today I would love to talk about camera trainees and PAs in the film industry. This video is gonna be camera related, but there might be some tips and tricks that you can apply to any other department. So the first thing you should keep in mind is that there is a hierarchy. If you are a camera trainee, the person above you is going to be the central loader or the second assistant camera. That person is the person that you should follow the most and help the most. You should be this person's shadow. Everything that she or he does, you should be there. Just asking them if they need help. There's a high chance that they worked as trainees before, so they're gonna know what to ask you at any given time. Although there might be some moments when everyone is rushing and there's no time, stressed moments when they might not give you orders, or they might think that just doing those tasks themselves is gonna be faster instead of just posing their job to explain it to you. If you find yourself wondering what you should do because you feel you should do something but you simply don't know what and no one tells you what to do, just ask yourself this single question: how can I make my department's life easier? The answer to this question generally represents a very good guideline for anyone working in film, because it's the essence of filmmaking as a teamwork itself, I think. Some of the tasks and missions they're gonna give you as a trainees and PAs, they're gonna look boring or useless, but I can assure you that everything will make sense later. After hierarchy, I would say that equipment is a big one. Every department is gonna get some kind of equipment. This can range from a simple laptop to a truck of lights, to cameras and lenses, to cranes and stuff. So the idea is that the truck, the room, the boat, even if you're working in places like Venice, Italy, all this area, all these spaces, they're gonna need to be tidy, especially when these spaces, these areas, these storage areas are gonna be shared between departments for production reasons. You're not necessarily gonna be the one in charge of organizing the equipment, or probably gonna be a central loader if you're working in camera, or a best boy if you're grip or sparks. But you're still, as a trainee, gonna be the person carrying all this stuff around. So a good rule of thumb in terms of equipment is asking yourself in what conditions you picked it up at the, say, camera rental at the start of the film project. If you don't know the answer because you have never seen a camera prep, I can answer this question for you. The equipment was working, clean and tidy. The idea is that you return the equipment in this exact same condition. So for example, if you shot in the dirt, in the desert, in the mountains, under the rain, you should take care of the equipment at all time. Keep everything clean. If you're a camera trainee, ask your second AC some extra tips in terms of maintenance. For example, some kind of equipment like rods and fluid head plates are gonna need some WD-40 from time to time, some lube, or maybe just take care of legs. If you shot in the dirt and you have dirty legs, just get a wipes and clean them. On a good day, you're just gonna need to maybe put some WD-40, or maybe clean something with some wet wipes. But on a bad day, you're gonna need to keep the equipment dry at all times. So if it's rainy, just get yourself ready. Of many film sets, I've seen lots of camera people going around with rolls, full rolls of kitchen paper. But that probably is not gonna make a lot of sense unless you're very, very, very wet conditions, because you're never gonna use the entire roll. So what you can do instead is, for example, get a zip bag and just fill it with some kitchen roll papers. Get yourself some rain covers for cameras, for cards, check the weather at all times. It's always better to be safe than sorry, and be prepared. So the third point, and this is more, I would say, sparks and camera related, is batteries. So as a camera trainee, you're gonna take care of batteries, any kind of batteries that your department uses. It's gonna be your job. So walkie-talkie batteries, camera batteries, focus hand unit batteries, ear tags batteries, slate batteries if you have time codes late, or if there is a hero cam, like a camera actually used in the story by one of the characters, you might need to take care of it yourself. Sometimes it's the art department roles, other times it's your job. So, there is a whole world of batteries. I might do a video in the future about batteries. But for now, the only thing that you should keep in mind is that you're gonna need to ensure that any kind of batteries used by your department is full at all times. Even those batteries, those forgotten batteries of that forgotten device, at the bottom of the truck, almost hidden, you're gonna need to make sure that in the very remote case they're gonna ask you for that specific device that uses those specific batteries. You're gonna need to be sure that those batteries are charged and ready to go. Get smart about batteries. Something that really took me a long time to learn is avoiding unnecessary trips. Before going actually to the power station, because you have empty camera battery, check if there is any other kind of empty battery on set that might go back to the power station. Furthermore, just keep in mind that second ACs usually keep some spare batteries, some backup batteries in their standby bags on set near cameras. So if you're a camera trainee, check with them where they want their spare batteries. So once you know the place, just make sure that they always have spare batteries ready to go. Last point before the final thoughts would be coffee. So coffee is a big one in film, as in I think many other industries. I already stressed the importance of coffee in one other video, in the 10 nice things to say on a film set video I made a few weeks ago. But as a camera trainee, really, food and drinks are gonna be a very, very recurring missions for you. They're gonna ask you for food, they're gonna ask you for coffees, drinks, they're gonna ask you for all kind of stuff. Sometimes they're even gonna ask you for some extra drinks or extra food. Maybe production, if they're nice and if they actually have time and the people they might get hold of. So get ready for that. Get ready to be a kind of waiter, kind of, delivery guy. So the idea is that, as a camera trainee, you should have the time to walk off set to get this coffee and these drinks and this food. The only thing that you should really keep in mind before running to craft to get orange juice or anything else for the DP or for the camera operator, the only thing you should really keep in mind is that you should finish what you're doing before doing anything else. So that's a very hard rule to comprehend, and I still don't finish what I'm doing and I just move on to other stuff because I think that other stuff require the priority, or I think that just by doing a little of something at the end I'm just gonna be faster, but that's not really how it works. So in this case, in the case of a coffee mission, really just finish what you're doing and then just walk off set. And also just let your second AC know, if you're a camera trainee, that you're leaving set, you're walking off set. Just let them know that you're not gonna be there if they need you. Once you're off set, if you're going to craft to get coffee for your team, just try to be as fast as possible. Don't hang around. You're gonna learn with time when it's time to relax and when it's time to rush. But for now, as a trainee with little experience, just limit yourself to your job. Be fast, be efficient, be a kind of ninja. That's the idea. So don't hang around the craft, talking to people, smile, say hi, yes, but then just get back to set as quickly as you can. So some final thoughts. I think that trainees and PAs are very good entry level positions, especially if you want to work in film but you still don't know what kind of department you're interested in. Especially in my generation, I think a lot of people get into film because they want to be DPs, because they want to be directors, because they want to maybe be producers. But you're gonna need that kind of groundwork. You're gonna need to see, how stuff are done at the very low bottom level. That's my humble opinion. But at the same time, that's my idea. For most of us, then of course there are like very talented people, geniuses, and they just do it. They just start as DPs when they're 20, or directors when they're 20, and they just do amazing films and amazing projects, and it's just good the way it is. Maybe if they spent 5 or 10 years as assistants, they wouldn't be where they are now. So it really is different from person to person. For the majority of us, for the majority of people, if you're not lucky, if you're not really already introduced to the world of filmmaking, maybe your best shot to actually get to work in film is accepting a PA or a trainee job. Finally, if you're like me, you're gonna be quite nervous on your first film projects, but that's totally normal. In terms of stress, does really get better later on, I think, but you kinda get used to it. There will always be bad days and unpleasant situations, but if you're like me, you're just gonna learn from them and remember that that's kind of part of the process. If you're an ex-trainee, if you're a veteran trainee, if you're a PA, if you're a second assistant camera, or if you're any kind of filmmaker and you want to share your experience, please feel free to do it in the comment section. That was it, and until next time for some running, filming, or sleeping content. Yo!